Thank you, thank you. This year is actually kind of a big year for me because I just graduated high school this year. Yeah, you can clap. It's not weird at all. The thing is, for me, is stand-up is kind of a passion of mine. Like, I sat in class most of the time alone, just sitting and writing jokes in hopes to get to tell them at a show like this because I just hate having sex. Because in high school, you can't have sex if you want to be cool. So I had to bring that number down to a 0 almost immediately. And so I chose this as a hobby, yeah. The thing about this summer right now, it's a big summer for a lot of kids because between high school and college, a lot of people my age kind of try and reinvent themselves. So that means I could have picked any personality or thing to do for fun. And this was still my choice. I'm still going with this. Oh, sure. At my graduation, I was the salutatorian of the class. Thank you for not clapping. Salutatorian, if you don't know, is just a really fancy way of saying, this guy got second place. And second place sounds great, but like, you just kind of realize that there's 20 kids in my class, and there were 3 first places. There were 3 valedictorians in my class. Obviously an attainable goal. So you kind of sit and realize that you've been in a 4-year-long race of just crossword puzzles and matching vocab, and you got technically 4th place. Oh, man. But anyway, I'm online a lot, because I look like this. And one of my favorite things to do online is to read news articles. What I like to do is, instead of reading the entire article, be as it may, I just like to read the headline. Now, I know everyone here does that, but I get entertainment from it. My favorite thing to do is, now, if you haven't realized, all news headlines have some unprecedented amount of sass in them. Like, most headlines now will be like, so Trump is putting kids in cages, and we're not here for it. Yeah, thank you, the New York Times. I did not need to know what your position on that would be. My favorite thing to do is to think of what if this sass creeped out into other forms of media. Imagine it's 55 years ago. You're in your living room. You're watching one of the 2 channels that they have on TV. The TV is this thick. I know, I'm smart. I studied. I went to a real school. But you're sitting there. CBS News comes on. Walter Cronkite appears, and he says, "Sad news coming out of Dallas, Texas this afternoon. President Kennedy has been shot and killed, and we are not here for it." Why? We're in Oklahoma, so I like to imagine, what if that happened with tornadoes and weather, too? You're watching KOCO, and Damon Lane comes on, and he's like, all right, guys, we've got 3 tornadoes, Norman. 3 tornadoes have just landed down here, and the T is you need to get in the basement, sis. We've got 3 tornadoes coming through, and it's about to snatch the wig clean off your house, sis. Why does that need to be in every article? That just kind of, removes all authenticity for me. A show I love to watch is go back and watch To Catch a Predator. Anyone watch To Catch a Predator? Okay, good. That means half of you are studying. That's terrifying. What I like to think about Catch the Predator is, Chris Hansen always... I think about Chris Hansen before I get into it. Is, first of all, he always stands like this for some reason. It's always have a seat over here. He just makes a hand vagina in the center of his chest, which is not the kind of enticing thing that you want when you're inviting a predator into your home. Just hi, have a seat over there. I don't get it, Chris. But just imagine Chris Hansen narrating, Jonathan came to Susie's house, who he thinks is 13. Jonathan also brought pizza with him, but he also brought condoms and lube, which, hold on, before, another thing that Chris Hansen does is he acts like he doesn't know he's on a show that's called To Catch a Predator. Anytime it gets to the guy brought something and brought something else, he gets freaked the hell out. It's Marty went to Amanda's house, who he thinks is 12, but he also brought video games and a ball gag. I don't get it. My other theory for that is that Chris Hansen has just never had sex. Every time he's just sitting, he's just resisting to urge to be condoms. What are those? Anyway, to bring it back to the sassy news headlines, I feel like Chris Hansen could just be narrating and saying, Jonathan came to Amanda's house, who he thinks is 13. But little does Jonathan know that our team and the FBI are about to sister snatch his predator ass. Thank you guys, I've been Will.